You know the slogan, Spartans fear nothing. But what if the sharpest Spartan weapon wasn't the spear? It was the story. For centuries, Sparta sold an image: bravery, austerity, perfect discipline. The reality? A state that engineered its myth with rules, rituals, and relentless messaging. Stay, because once you see the machinery, the legend looks very different.
Part 1. The Spartan Mirage. Picture bronze helmets, red cloaks, shields marked with lambda. Now zoom out. Who told you these stories? Much of Sparta comes through outsiders, admirers, and moralizers, writers who loved turning Spartans into symbols. Sparta understood stagecraft, uniform dress, short hair for men, distinct cloaks, synchronized movements. A city that marched like a sentence, short, sharp, memorable. When you control the costume, you control the camera. Silence became a slogan. Laconic wit, the famous one-liners. Come and take them. If. Short answers travel far. Complexity stays home. Which version wins on the road? The nuance or the quote? Even mess halls, the Syssitia, were messaging. Adults ate in communal groups, not private feasts, performing equality in public while hierarchy lived in the rules beneath. It looked simple. It was not. Spartan boys trained in the agōgē, discipline, endurance, obedience. It made good soldiers, yes, but also good symbols, bodies that move alike, voices that spoke alike. The army marched, so did the myth. And what the myth hid, the myth justified. Foreign travel restricted, money made inconvenient, outsider ideas kept at arm's length. If you corral the inputs, you curate the outputs, especially the stories people tell about you. Part 2. The Machine of Control. Government in Sparta looked simple. It wasn't. 2 kings for ritual and command. A council of elders, the gerousia, to filter choices. 5 ephors, watchdogs, elected yearly, ready to check anyone. Layers like armor plates. Rituals carried law inside them. Processions, festivals, inspections. Public choreography that turned obedience into habit. When rules repeat to music, people memorize them with their bodies. That's propaganda you feel in your spine. The agōgē wasn't just fitness, it was formatting. Short rations to prize toughness. Group living to prize loyalty. Tests of silence to prize self-control. Private self dissolved into public purpose. The state wrote on skin, not paper. Then there were the people the myth rarely centers, the helots, the conquered laborers who farmed the land. No graphic details here. Understand the structure. Citizens trained, others worked. The glittering discipline of the few rested on the labor of the many. Control required watchfulness. Elders inspected youth. Peers watched peers. Ephors checked kings. Power surveilled power, an ecosystem of mutual caution. When everyone is someone's supervisor, the script stays tight. Why did Sparta fear luxuries and foreign talk? Because luxury buys private loyalty. Ideas grow private doubts. A propaganda state needs public loyalties and simple stories. Complexity is hard to march in formation. Part 3. Economy, austerity, and the price of the brand. Sparta's brand was austerity, so ban the glitter, make coinage awkward, keep dinners plain, praise the unadorned. A lifestyle becomes a billboard. But economies dislike handcuffs. Spartans limited trade and travel, so periokoi, free non-citizens around Sparta, handled much of the making and selling. The machine outsourced what it couldn't admit it needed. Simplicity on stage, complexity backstage. Land was allotted, on paper equal. In practice, wealth drifted. Numbers of full citizens shrank. The brand said, "We're all alike," but the ledger kept secrets the slogan couldn't. Austerity is easy to preach, hard to scale. Public meals performed equality, yet status lived in age, lineage, and proximity to power. Even the mess line has a front. Propaganda paints, economics engraves. Foreigners? Welcome when useful, suspect when not. New ideas could threaten the script. New skills could save a campaign. A city that says no often ends up whispering, maybe. The brand bends, or it breaks. And soldiers need more than slogans. They need boots, bronze, grain, ships, allies. Even Sparta, apostle of simplicity, had to coordinate networks of supply, quiet logistics that never show up on the poster. The bravest line needs a budget line. Part 4. Women, Families, and the State's Long Shadow. Here is a paradox with power. Spartan women had unusual visibility for the era: athletics, property rights, public voice at festivals. Strong mothers, strong sons, said the logic. Girls trained their bodies. Marriages aimed to produce resilient citizens. The household served the city's goals. Private life bent towards public ends. Empowerment inside a purpose, bigger than choice. With men often away or in barracks, women managed estates. Property concentrated, some women controlled notable wealth. Admiring outsiders called this freedom. Skeptics called it policy. In Sparta, even freedoms wore a uniform. Family stories learned the same lines as public ones: endurance, frankness, scorn for excess. Mothers were quoted delivering hard sayings, useful for the legend, shaping for the child. The home rehearsed the theater of the state. Raise the chorus young, and it sings for life. And the others, the helots again, carried the harvests that funded the discipline, including the space for women's property and presence. Systems connect, costs distribute. Every myth has a ledger. Check both. What did this produce? Citizens who could suffer in silence, move as one, and prefer the hard road on principle. Admirable, yes, and also engineered. Admiration grows safest when matched by comprehension. Part 5. War, PR, and the Afterlife of a Brand. Thermopylae became a world-class slogan, a brave stand, a clean story, a message that fits in a mouth. History rarely offers such tidy packages, and when it does, someone curated it. Sparta invested in memorials, songs, and disciplined silence. Few words, strong shapes, consistent colors, the graphic design of a city-state. Even failure could be framed as faithfulness. Lose the battle, win the billboard. But brands age. Numbers of citizens dropped. Wealth pooled. Allies tired. New powers learned new tricks. The simple story met complicated times. A shield wall is strong until the world learns to go around it. After Sparta faded, the myth prospered. Philosophers quoted them. Generals borrowed their slogans. Moderns turned Spartans into gym posters and internet bravado. The afterlife of a brand can outlive the city that minted it. So what do we do with this legend? Gentle. Keep the virtues: courage, discipline, teamwork. Drop the masquerade, pretending toughness equals truth. Real strength is not being loud, it's being accurate about causes and costs. If you remember one thing, remember this. Spartan power was not just spears. It was story management, clothing, ritual, policy, and praise. Respect the discipline, question the simplifications. In any age, the sharpest blade is the narrative you train to obey or to rethink.
Thank you for watching. If this changed how you picture Sparta, hit subscribe. It's free, and it tells me to make the next myth-busting deep dive. Drop a comment. What surprised you most? The training, the economy, or the propaganda? Tap like to help more people find this,
and ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode. See you soon. More hidden truths are on the way.